On this 3-day adventure, we're heading to the second largest sand island in the world to hunt for giant mud crabs. Minjerribah, or North Stradbroke Island, forms part of Australia's Great Sandy region. I'll be testing out this new boat with my mate Polly, who's a chef and avid fisherman, and we'll be relying on catching and foraging our own food.
The meat on that.
You on?
Oh, we're on here. It's actually like such a good size.
I'm really excited for this trip, but it's got a few unknowns, which usually lead to a great adventure. Alright, so here's the plan. The first night we're going to be camping on the northwest side. And the next day we've got about 12 nautical miles to cover along this stretch here. So the forecast picked up last night, which means that section down the coast could get pretty choppy. And this is all pretty new for me, as I've only ever taken this boat up the river. Plus, I've never loaded it up to the brim with camping gear. This is lining up to be one hell of an adventure.
Yeah, somewhere around here, maybe in these little patch of mangroves over here. Load in tomorrow, hopefully have a few big fat mud crabs stuck on the fire. See these little tracks through here. But there's definitely some crabbies living in this area. I'm not game enough to stick my fingers in there, but I reckon if we leave a trap out overnight, it could be on. I think we might plonk it in and see who's home. Wear some pilchards in your socks every morning. Your feet will get that stinky, the crabs will come to you. Granddad taught me that. Perfect. That sock will get nice and stinky, won't it? So this big old dead tree is our marker when we come back in the boat.
It wasn't long before we got our first crab, but unfortunately it was the wrong species. A blue swimmer crab and a female, also known as jennies, are strictly no-take in Queensland.
You can tell it's a girl by this little flap under the carapace is where they keep their eggs, and a male that will be a very spiky little triangle. Very good start to the trip, but we're looking for a big muddy, so we're going to let this lady go.
We're in mud crab territory, eh?
What's going on here?
Oh yeah.
Add a bit of a ghost trap here. Might as well repurpose it.
After setting up camp, we went out looking for some fish, hoping to secure some breakfast.
Spangled emperor. Very pretty fish. Cute little garfish. So cute, but he's might be our bait for the evening.
We moved through the shallows with torches and a net to catch some bait, and soon came across a pretty scary sight. Among the most venomous fish on earth, stepping on one of these guys would end our trip instantly. The stonefish has a row of hollow barbs along its back. Yeah, they're pushing up the beach further that way. They're coming to you to the right. I think they're right on you now. Oh, damn.
I think we should put him back in. Pretty cool.
There was lots of activity in the water. A pippy would come in handy as bait. Along the way we spotted a little hermit crab and even a turtle.
Oh.
You on?
Yeah, we're on. We're on here.
There were a few shovel-nosed sharks in the area, and it wasn't long before we had one hooked. This was going to be a solid meal.
It's actually like such a good size.
We only really brought some veggies, so we were relying on what we caught. It was a long night of fishing, but we got ourselves a flathead and a shovel nose, and we didn't get to sleep till midnight. This kangaroo was hanging around our tent. We were up at first light. We headed straight to the point to try our luck with some fishing. However, the wind and swell was up, and we were very exposed on these rocks, so we decided to move on. Seeing this sea eagle fly over brought back some great memories. I hadn't been to this island since I was a kid, about 8 years old. I remember driving on the beach on my dad's lap and taking photos of a sea eagle out the window. Now, 20 years later, I'm back. It's a bit of a surreal feeling. Polly did some foraging for some local greens, which would come in handy for our meals. We also stumbled across this random chili bush that was obviously planted by someone, or even animals could have carried the seeds.
Well, it's like dripping in sap.
We also collected some natural ingredients to make a bush tea. I was really excited for this one.
Sick.
Polly trussed up the sand flathead we got the night before with some French herbs ready to throw straight in the Gozney. This was a pretty epic spot to set up, and we had a small pod of dolphins cruising around the shallows. Lunch was a little nod to fish and chips with crusty spuds, flathead, capers, lemon and herbs, and a butter sauce made with local beer. Now with food in our bellies, we decided to head back to camp. Along the way we stopped into a coastal forest to collect some paper bark. This would come in handy to cook the shark. Since the bark is actually living protection for these trees, it offers moisture control and insect defense. We were sure just to remove the outside layer of loose bark, taking vertical patches from one side only and leaving plenty behind. Now it's time to get the boat ready for a big journey down the coast to check the crab pots and then even further to our campsite. We had to travel 12 nautical miles to our next camp, as it was only accessible by boat. It was going to take a few hours, and the wind was picking up, and I even considered pulling the pin at this point. But Polly and I had a quick team meeting, we hyped ourselves up, and decided to send it. While wading through these mangroves and shallow water, we had to watch out for stingrays. Sometimes the only giveaway is bubbles on the surface.
Oh, there's two on top of each other.
They camouflage themselves just under the sand, and their sting is no joke.
See a few cheeky little stonefish getting around. Everything's trying to give you a neat mangrove. We're on. It's a girl. She's a big girl. I'm really trying not to damage her legs on the way out here, but also trying not to damage my soft little Polish fingers.
The big one, eh?
She's a beautiful, beautiful big crab. We're gonna have to let her swim free.
We had finally landed a giant mud crab, but she was a female, and to protect the breeding population, she has to go back. It hurts letting one go, but it's for the right reasons.
Nada. The bait's gone. They've eaten it through our little sock. No bueno. Pretty certain we were having a yummy little crab on the campfire tonight.
I guess we were a little rattled not to be heading back to camp with the crab. This area showed so much promise, but we'd come up short. We had a long way to go, and would likely arrive just after dark.
Alright, we're away.
Since I'd no navigation lights on the boat, we really needed to make up some time and just floor it. But the ocean was a little rough, so it's safe to say we got very wet. It was a pretty interesting journey. We navigated around a few oyster farms, a sunken wreck, and all the shallow waters as I tried to hug close to the coast. But we finally made it. After such a big mission to get here, we were hungry, so we got the fire going quickly.
The meat on that looks fucking insane.
Polly was excited to use some subtropical flavours like moringa, curry leaves and galangal to bake the shovel nose in the coals, along with some warrigal greens wrapped in beetle leaves and paper bark.
So yummy. So epic.
This shovel nose was incredible. The meat was just so soft and tender, and the flavours Polly added were spot on.
We got there in the end.
Even after a big day on the boat, we mustered up the energy to drop the crab pots deep into the mangroves. Since it was low tide, we were able to walk in but we soon got stuck in the mud.
You look pretty deep there, brother.
I'm up shit creek. Oh boy.
I woke up with water lapping at my tent, and since we only wanted to bring the necessities, we cut down on a nice comfy pillow and a warm blanket or sleeping bag, which meant in the early hours of the morning it got a little cold. But I was the first up, so I got a fire cranking, and this was also very good defense against mosquitoes and those big horse flies. Polly got to work on a special iced tea with some native botanicals and more subtropical flavours like rhubarb hibiscus and Vietnamese plum. We let the tea brew and headed out to check the trap. But again, no dice. Where were all these giant mud crabs? This hidden anchorage has a story most campers wouldn't know. You see, in the 1980s, a sand mine collapsed here, reshaping this little bay. And over the years, nature reclaimed and softened this scarred landscape. And now, it's an incredible sanctuary. Back at camp, we cooked up some greens. Even though we hadn't succeeded in our main goal, it wasn't the end of the world. The point was to go out on an epic adventure, and we were definitely living that. The refreshing tea was just perfect to wash down the charred snake beans with chili sambal. We packed up camp, loaded everything into the boat, and headed back north along the coast. We were on the boat for a few hours, It was much nicer going with the wind this time.
That looks empty, I think. You want
Anything?
donuts?
We were taking care to tread lightly through these mangroves, as we didn't want to damage or disrupt this beautiful ecosystem. But we were excited, because there was a discovery in the very last pot of the trip.
Crab in there. There's a crab in there. It looks like a boy. He's a boy! Yes! Woo!
Oh yeah, dude.
We got it done, baby. In the final minute. This is in the trap that we salvaged out of the mangroves and repaired with a little bit of leftover shovel nose head from our meal, and this is the only trap that works for us.
We had finally done it. We had landed this giant mud crab, and we couldn't wait to get back so we could cook it up. A refreshing green mango and rice paddy herb salad dressed with coconut vinegar was going to be perfect to cut through the richness of the crab. Our crab went in the Gozney with lemongrass, summer poly sambal, and a splash of rice water. Polly made a garlic pepper sauce with the crab's tamale to go on the noodles. That was such an epic trip. I'm so stoked we finally landed that target species. And it was awesome with Polly, since he's such a talented chef. These are the kind of moments I want to fill my life with. Hopefully it has inspired you to get out and explore this beautiful country. Returning to this island that first inspired me to pick up a camera and capture nature felt like a full circle moment. Some sort of sign that I was on the right path.